talk for an hour then. Right.
Start. You go.
So, as you all know, I am treasurer at the moment, and my name's Connie.
Can't
Yes.
with that.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh, back.
So, if you don't know who I am, I study forensic science. I'm in the second year at the moment. I volunteer with the police, and I used to be an air cadet, and I've been here for 2 years now. And I'm a massive meme, basically.
Okay.
Why do I want the role? Basically, I have council experience. No one else running at the moment has council experience. So I've had to learn over sort of the past 2 years how this society functions. And 2 years, one as a member and one as a council, has given me a good sort of in-depth look at what goes well, what doesn't go well, and the areas that we need to work on, and also what our strengths and weaknesses are. I'd like to be kind of a mentor for the next generation of LGS, so I can help them grow and continue the success that we've created with Game and other companies. I want to develop my own ideas and strategies to help this society run more efficiently so that we have something strong every week and ensure that members are always happy. Members are the #1 reason this society works so well. And I also want to help develop the LGS community outside of university, building a gaming community within Lincolnshire, which is what we started to do with Game this year. And we're already just sort of on that path at the moment. So I want to help bring that out into the open and let the Students' Union know what we're capable of doing and what we've already achieved so far. So things we've achieved so far. We've, over the years, developed relationships with Gotham Games, Walkabout, Special Effect, Game, and few societies have achieved what we have. And obviously we're in the process of connecting with other universities at the moment and their gaming societies. So we have more of a regional basis to do really, really big events in the future, which is something we hope to achieve with Game's relationship to us. There's so much potential in the society. We have 94 members at the moment. And I want to be able to use that to help us get more benefits for our members, like merchandise, get free entry to events, things like that, things that I think are very much achievable. Play Expo, we did that this year, and I think everyone will agree, everyone that went really enjoyed it. The price was good for it, and it was really successful, and you can see how many people were there. And I think we can have a deeper exploration of what events are available to us and get ideas from you guys, because you basically run the society. You guys give us the ideas that we make successful. Okay, so why vote for me? My connections with ex-council members gives me a wealth of expertise for us to sort of utilise. Obviously, Jackman, Chaz, Ben, Ollie, Reese, I've got plenty of people within my friendship circle that I can use their past experiences, their knowledge to help us as a current new council learn and sort of do our roles well. I have years of experience already, so I know the processes of how the SU work, how a TV and AV department and sort of things like that work. I'm easy to get to know and get along with, so you can trust me to listen to you, put across your ideas and problems, and ensure that you're satisfied with your society. I always analyse situations to create balanced arguments, so any decision we reach is in the best interests of the council and its members. So not just what one person wants, it's what sort of everybody wants. And so that we can, even if there's only a small section of you that wants something, I can make that happen. I can collaborate with the rest of the council to make everybody have something, to get something out of it. I would like to oversee the new council, so I can ensure that the processes are followed properly so that we don't get into trouble with anything. And I hope that I can impart enough knowledge on them so that they can do the same in the future when I leave. What I want to achieve, basically, obviously I've talked about the gaming community quite a lot, and I want to further develop relationship with businesses. The thing with Walkabout at the moment is we're kind of not really sure what's going on there. The contracts was signed really late and things like that. So we need to really go on out there and be in the face of Lincolnshire businesses to let them know what we do, and so we can get more out of it. We can get more events, more socials. One place I was thinking about was Aikido. It's a smaller venue, but at the same time it would be good for certain events, and it's always an area that we can explore. I would also love to continue raising money for special effects to carry on the legacy of LGS. As you know, we've done it for so many years now, and I don't want that to stop. They love us, and I think the SU need to know what we do, and that's what I want to be part of as well. I want to build relationships with the SUs so that we can get the benefits that they give to other societies. Like if you sort of see yoga and dance, they'll get all their events advertised on a weekly basis by the SU, and we suffer from not having that, exploitation. We do suffer from it, and it's not like nobody knows what we do, and because we do such great work, it's a shame to see that not known, not noticed. So as Vice President, I really want to make sure that next year, as a council, as a society, that people know what we do and know how big we are and know that we're achieving so much more than every other society does, so that they can step up their game too and make just university in general, a better place for people. And I also want to do monthly socials, because we tried, but at the same time it's not always easy to do, but it's something that I really want to get set in stone, so that every month, if you've not been able to come to a session because of uni, that you've got somewhere you could go, catch up with people, have a drink, and have fun. And I also do want to build relationships up with other societies, so jams, comic, tabletop, Cullan, so that we can create a family in a way, a cluster of societies who share common goals and interests, to boost events and maximise potential for massive events for SU recognition as well. So not just us running an event, but if we can get a whole cluster of similar societies doing one massive event, in the engine shed or Tower Bar, somewhere like that. And then that way you can make your connections with other societies as well. You might find you're interested in, comics, and that you meet people there that might become really good friends of yours. And stuff like that. I don't want people to miss out on because of the lack of communication between societies. So that's something I really want to build. And I'm going to sort of talk through now what I've experienced this year and what I think for next year we can build upon. Basically, we need to improve communication with the SU, selection of games and consoles available in sessions, because we run off our own backs. We bring everything that we own to these sessions, and sometimes that does limit what we can do, and I don't want that to happen this year. I want this year to be able to go, we want this, and be able to provide it, and that's what I'm going to try and do in my last couple of months as Treasurer as well. I want to create a system for members' feedback so that we're always working to what you guys want. We know what works well and what doesn't, because every year it's a different bunch of people with different interests, and we can't always guess what you guys want. So if we can create some kind of system for you to tell us, actually, I would really like this, like a suggestions sort of box, things like that. I want to improve our social media presence so that, again, we can get bigger and better, ensure that we've got enough TVs and monitors every session, and also kind of reduce the pressure on the council to provide everything themselves, because it is hard, especially if you don't have a lot of money, because I want to invest in consoles and games that will belong to the society, so that generations from now, they've got something to fall back on, so that we don't have to sort of work around what we've got. We're not limited in that way. I also want to sort of discuss longer term investments, such as the consoles and things like that, and maybe rooms. Yeah. So, any questions?
So that was a really nice point you brought up about having obviously accessibility to games and whatnot. So my first question, Connie, is will you buy games?
That's what I want to try and do this year. Like, obviously, I've realised that I don't own a lot, because I'm mainly sort of, my laptop is my everything's on there, and everything on there is single player or online multiplayer, and that isn't suited to LGS sessions. I do now have a PS4, which I can start working on to get games to bring to sessions. But as Treasurer, I want it to be more that I can sort of get the ball rolling on getting these sort of older consoles like PS3s, PS2s, Xboxes, maybe even some of the newer generation councils, so that we have a backlog of readily available things that we can build up an inventory of, so that throughout the year we've got a good lot of games to work with. So over summer, that's what I want to try and achieve this year. Does that answer?
Why did you choose VP over the other roles?
I feel like VP is more suited to my sort of how I work in a team. Like, I like to contribute to all different areas. I like to be the overseer. I like to, you know, be able to pitch in and out of what's important. Like, treasurer wasn't suited to me really because I never budgeted. I've never had experience with money, and I took it as a challenge upon myself to do that. And I've learned a lot this year from that, a lot of hard lessons. And I think VP is just, I think that my experiences are much more useful in the VP context, in that I will be able to guide people from my knowledge, and also sort of be more of a leader and more of a mentor for people, rather than just kind of taking the back seat and just going, I can't do this or I can't do that. I want to be able to sort of discuss things properly and really help the council understand how things work, how the processes work, and just make sure everything's done effectively, really.
If you wanted to take like a more leading role, why do you choose VP over president?
Because I don't think the time to dedicate to president, as well as I think it's more useful for other people to be in such a big role, in that I'm not one of those characters. I'm not like charismatic. I try to be, but I'm not like Ollie. I'm not someone that can walk into a room and get an audience like that. That's not who I am. I'm not suited to that, and I think for a president that is really necessary. So, sorry Jack, if that's making you like nervous, but I think it's really necessary for someone to be able to grab the attention of the crowds and people, you know, be spontaneous and all that sort of thing. I need to be more of the anchor of the society in terms of, you know, they've got amazing ideas that they want to do, and I want to pull them down to be a bit more realistic in terms of what we can actually do.
Well, one of the main roles with VP obviously is being able to step up to take the role of the president if the president was falling behind or if anything was to happen to the president.
That's what I mean.
You've got to be there for the
If that is
president.
needed, I can do that, and I know that's within my capabilities. But also with VP, I hope that if I'm doing my job right, that doesn't need to happen, because I'll have supported the president enough for them to not need me to take over.
I would say that VP, I think, is probably more of a charismatic role than president, because you're more involved with like the community as opposed to like the business side of it.
But that's what I mean. I'm good at getting involved with the community, but not in terms of grabbing the attention of the room. Like, I'm more of a blending in the crowd kind of person. I go and sit down and I play games with people. I won't stand at the front and, you know, make massive claims and make jokes and make everybody laugh. That's not really me, and I think VP is just much more my thing. And it might be my version of VP is a little bit different to what other people have done, but I think that I can do it in a way that's going to work for this society.
Why didn't you do treasurer again?
Because
you said you got like experience from it.
I hate money. I just don't think treasurer is what I'm good at. Like, I think I can be good enough to assist in the role, but I don't think I was ready to deal with every week, dealing with money, purchase requests all the time. It was a bit much for me, because I wasn't used to that kind of thing. And also, you know, with it being my third year, I want to make sure that I try something different as well. And I just think I really want to be that mentor. That I like, as treasurer, I wouldn't be able to be as much of a mentor. I think VP just allows that a little bit more freely, allows me to sort of dip in and out of each role, help out where it's necessary, so that I can ensure that the next year you guys are knowledgeable enough to do the same for the people that are coming up to you.
Sam? So, like, even though you say obviously that you didn't feel you were quite right for treasurer this year, one of the main important things of being a VP is that you will occasionally have to do almost every single role if it's needed. So,
but like I said, I have the experience of treasurer to be able to do that competently enough that I know what I'm doing. Like, does that make sense?
But you said you didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm not worthy or capable of doing it.
If I was the president and I had someone doing the treasurer's work who admittedly didn't like it, that would concern me.
I enjoy participating. I like being someone who, if somebody asks something of, will get it done. And I feel like part of that is, if someone's struggling in their role, I can dip in that and I can help them out. That gives me the enjoyment, not necessarily the job itself, but being able to assist the role and being able to give advice, being able to sort of be the person that they can talk to and help. So in a way, it's kind of, I might not enjoy, like media, I may never have made a poster in my life, but if that was what was needed, I will go and be able to do that. I will sit down and I will work hard enough to be able to do that. That's what I want to do as VP. I want to make sure that I can do everything that's asked of me well enough and also oversee, like, that kind of thing.
Jazz?
You're going into your third year of uni, which is a really tough year. Can you deal with the stress of running society and doing your third year? Because you're going to have a dissertation, you're going to have a hell of a lot of projects. Do you feel like you are mentally prepared to deal with the stress?
I feel like I have measures in place at the moment that will be able to help me with that. I have a support network. I have, a lot of people that I can talk to. And if I need help, I've got ways to get help. So it's not like I'm going in blind, head first, like expecting to be all good and grand, because I know from the past year we've had our ups and downs, and I know it's going to be like that this year, but I'm more equipped to deal with it now because I know sort of what to expect and what I can expect of myself. I know my strengths and I know my limits, but I also know where to go for help now. I know who to ask. I know what's in place for me if I do start to struggle.
Gilbert?
Yeah, you talk about ideas and big and small, and if you've got a big idea and the president doesn't like it, or vice versa, what would your resolution
Well, you discuss it. You just discuss it as a team. That's the whole point of a council, is to be a team. If I've got a really big idea and nobody else seems to think it's a good idea, then that points out to me that obviously something in that idea is not working. So you talk to the guys, you ask them, what is, the main problem with this thing, and you break it down and you go, okay, what can we change to make this work? And then if it isn't something that does work, come up with something else.
Reese?
In your presentation, a couple of times you mentioned how you wanted to up things to do with like the social media presence. So like you said, you wanted to spread the word more. You wanted to like improve our social media presence. My question is like, why did you consider social media as a role, and why didn't you go for that rather than VP? As you explained earlier, you weren't really comfortable with like what you feel are some of the definitions of the president role. So I feel like in the social media role, you maybe could have still had the overseeing presence of being there within the council, but you could have worked more carefully on the social media presence without obviously having the stress of having like the president's role potentially on you as well as like the VP role, like overseeing.
Take a deep breath.
So.
As a personal thing for me, I like the idea of, taking that challenge for myself, and, being one of the higher up roles, as it is one of my last years, and I want to make sure that I get the opportunity to do that. Social media is not something I don't make posters and things like that. Like I said, I will give it my best shot, and I will do everything I can to make sure it's successful and it's effective. So in terms of why vice president, again, I feel my skill set is more suited to that, because it's not anything specific. It's a lot more, I need to be good at a lot of different things, but I think that I can do that. I think that I'm capable of that. I sort of know myself well enough to know that if I did take on social media, I'd be in unknown territory for myself. VP is unknown territory, but it also relies a lot on experiences that you've gathered and skills that I already have.
If it's unknown territory, how do you plan to increase social media presence and like spread the word better?
Okay, so first of all, I want to talk to the SU. I want to get them. I want to sit down with them, have a proper sit down, not a hub, not something like that. I want to sit down with them, and I want to discuss in sort of depth how we feel as a society at the moment in terms of our relationship with them. And obviously, there's a new bunch of people going in for their roles now, so it's a new start for them. It's a new sort of way for us to be able to get our society kick-started, ready for September. So I want to sit down with them, discuss with them what they can do for us and what we can do for them, and how we can improve the relationship we have at the moment. And also, as VP, if it's all successful and everything, to discuss with the members, like with the other council, sort of how we're going to divide up the social media role. And if we do want someone to run for social media, and anyone is wanting to run, we can run a by-election for that. But in terms of if no one does run for by-election, it is going to be something I can work on with this SU, getting the help with the social media, and also discussing with the other council members who feels like we can divide out the roles. So who wants to take over the Facebook, set schedules for that, set someone who wants to do posters maybe. So the roles are sort of smaller but divided out between the four of us.
Any other questions? No?
When you talked about getting consoles, which I really like the idea of, how would you get the money for that? Because you said when we were talking when we were going through the Treasury presentation, we don't earn profit.
We have a lot of money at the moment. Basically, when you pay your membership to the society, it goes into our membership fund, and we have a lot basically because we've not made too many losses or anything like that this year. So basically, we can go to the SU, ask for a development request, and we can pitch our ideas forward and get what we can. And then also the cheaper sort of retro consoles, it will be up to the council to sort of pay forward and then get a reimbursement of that console back. So it's going to be, it's not a quick process by all means, but if we've got the whole summer to kind of get that on board and sort of the ball rolling.
Yeah, when do you want to do our last question?
There's not many people here who know, but whenever I've seen someone rerun who I've been on a council with, I always give them quite a hard question because I don't base it kind of on what they've done. I think it was last year.
Yeah.
I think a large part of your presentation is kind of like rely on the fact that you have people you're going to know who have done it, and stuff that we've already done in the past, like special effects starting like 2-3 years ago. How can you instill confidence in me on the contingency that, say, all of us just turn around next year and tell you fuck off, basically? Because some of us may be going into work, going far away, moving away. Some of us might just be better with the SU and be like, I don't care anymore.
Confidence.
Well, in that respect, I'm already starting to develop my skills by myself as it is. I've watched and I've learned and observed from observing everybody else's role this year, sort of what it takes and what's required. If I need any sort of more detailed sort of investment from that, I can sort of do my research with that. I don't have to depend on other people. It's always nice to have that sort of expertise that they know when something doesn't work. But if that's not available to me, then I'll have to use my own intuition. And I think because I've sort of been able to observe these roles for the past 2 years, watch what's going on. I'm very analysy. I analyse everything, and I keep a record. And I'm not just sort of idly standing by when I am sort of in the society. I have watched everything. And there's also the opportunity to talk to the SU. They will help me if I put myself forward to that. And I think that using my own sort of initiative, I will be able to get by because I think I have the sensibility to know what's realistic. I think I'm anchored. I'm a lot more anchored than I was last year. And I had all these wild, grand ideas. I was too afraid to put them forward. I was, a bit nervous about being on the council. And now I've experienced all of that. I feel like I'm sort of grounded to know what is realistic. And I also know that other people are going to have ideas that they want to, grow really, really big. And it's always good to have that big idea to work up towards. So I'm going to do it very, very methodically. I'm going to have step-by-steps. I'm going to be scheduling everything. I'm going to be making sure that basically I know what I'm doing. So I'm not left in a position where I go, I don't know what I'm doing, because I don't think that's good. And I think in order to do that, I'm going to have to do research. I'm going to have to talk to various amounts of people. And I'm just going to have to work on my own skills that I have at the moment and use the knowledge that I have to the best of my abilities.
Thank you.